So we're here at Gamescom. Let's talk about the two newest characters you guys are showing playable here at the show.
Yes, well, a few weeks back we introduced Raiden as the next character after the E3 show, and then we introduced for here Kano. So two returning kind of classic characters, but with this new feature of the three variations of each. And so that's what's really, I think people are really starting to get just how deep this feature is going to be when every character has three variations, and thinking about them, kind of matching up against each other with all those permutations and combinations of matchups.
How do those variations, like for instance, how do you like to play with them, the two new ones?
Well, with Kano, I love the eye laser. I've always been a big fan of the eye laser, and at the same time, his knife fighting style has a lot of really cool extended combos and really brutal looking moves. But for Kano, it's kind of like the eye laser, and for Raiden, I like the Stormlord Raiden, where he does he drops those kind of bombs in the air that connect, and then he kind of owns that space. So that's a really to me that's the one with a big kind of psychological game against the opponent.
Now, in the past, we've seen Mortal Kombat out there on the esports space. How do you feel these new variations will add to that esports experience?
I think it'll add substantial additional depth to the game, and I think that these are the kind of in fighting games, the Evo tournaments, all of they're always talking about matchups. They're always talking about how does this character compare to this one? This one's weak against these. Now you have three versions. So how does Scorpion A compare to Raiden B compared to Sub-Zero C? And the mixture of all that, multiply that by 30 some characters, and you just have a way more huge variety of matchups that you wouldn't have in any other fighting game.
And you've been making games for a long time. What are your thoughts about how esports seems to have exploded the last few years?
I was expecting it in some ways, but still amazed by it. When you see something like a League of Legends, they take up the entire convention center at LA Live. It's unbelievable. And people just kind of converge. Also going to the Evo show in Las Vegas it's unbelievable. It's just as much energy as a basketball game or a baseball game or something like that. So it's clearly legitimate at this point.
How do you feel it impacts you guys as developers, knowing that there's now actual people that make a living playing your video games?
It's kind of daunting, I think a lot of you really get super cautious about making sure that the game is balanced and doesn't have any cheats in it. It's kind of like, what if you made a basketball hoop that was a little bit wider and one team has it, so you really want to make sure that everything is as even as possible and keep it legit, because people are kind of putting their livelihood on the line there.
You guys are showing a new level when it comes to the jungle. Can you talk about that and also the interactivity that opens up?
Yes, every one of our environments has some level of interactivity. It usually has to do with maneuvering your characters or kind of propelling them forward. The jungle has these vines that hang down that you can jump on and swing like as an attack for your opponent. There's a big rock on the left side that you can run up and kind of escape from the corner. And there's also a big kind of like statue that you can slam your opponent's head into it. So their main function is to kind of like maneuver yourself around, but there are some attack elements to them as well. And the jungle isn't any different. It just has those elements too.
How have you guys been able to push the Unreal Engine technology over the last few games and now bringing it out on Next Gen?
We've actually been modifying the Unreal Engine for a few years now. I mean, it's really it's almost become our own kind of proprietary engine at this point, because we're two big characters on the screen. We're running 60 frames a second. Our environments are a lot more enclosed. That's a lot different from like a first-person shooter or something like that. So we have requirements that are specific, tailored to our needs that we've spent years working on, and so we're very comfortable with this engine at this point.
When you guys first added it to the equation, how did that open up things, not having to start from scratch?
Oh, it was a huge advantage because the complexities of making a graphics engine, as by evidenced by the few people who actually are doing it successfully, is really hard. And so we at first we had a lot of help, from Epic. They were really kind of helping us support it, but then at some point we kind of took it and veered off, and we stopped taking builds from them, and we kind of veered off into our own kind of version of that engine.